Hi, I'm Colin Hung with Sway Health, where we are thrilled to bring you exclusive insights and knowledge from the brightest minds in healthcare marketing. On today's episodes, we're going to be exploring swag. What's good? What are some do's and don'ts? And going on the journey with me today is Kat Mullane, lead customer merchandise manager, or otherwise known as Swag Wizard at Printfection. And she's coming to us from Denver, Colorado. Kat, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be here.
Now, swag, this is a topic that I get asked about a lot, and I know a lot of people listening and watching this are going to be excited to learn more about it from people who actually make it and who make recommendations to companies.
Yeah,
S-
I'm excited to speak on it for sure.
So let's dive in right away. Kat,
Mhm.
from your perspective, what are some of the swag trends that are happening right now? Are there certain types of swag that are doing better than others and ones that are more popular than others?
Definitely, yeah. One of the main trends that we're seeing right now is swag that's actually geared towards a purpose, something that is made with eco-friendly materials, something that maybe gives back to a cause like a water cause or some sort of cause. And then we're also just seeing that people are giving name brands. So they're trying to align their branding with something that is actually recognizable. So something that people want. A good example would be like the Cotopaxi Del Dia backpack. It's a beautiful bag made of all recycled materials, and it's just a really unique piece that people are putting their branding on. Another one would be like Known Supply. That's a great vendor that we recently started working with. They actually have a program where they offer work to underserved privileges. So if you get one of their t-shirts, they're actually really soft and delicious feeling. You can find them in Whole Foods sometimes. Whenever you actually get your shirt or your item from them, you have a tag on there that says who actually made it. You can go to the Known Supply website and you can find the person who made it and say thank you. Another one would be like Nimble. They use all recycled materials to create like chargers, things that people are going to use on the go. So we could go on and on about brands, but those are the main trends that we're seeing right now are sustainability focused and just community focused in general, things that people will actually use.
Yeah, I've really noticed the whole brand. It used to be where, you go to a conference and you get these no name or unknown brands of things, whether they be
Mhm.
chargers or pens, water bottles, all those kinds of things. But in the last few years, I've definitely noticed an uptick in established brands that allow the vendor to, emblazon their logo on it. Like I've seen a lot of Swell water bottles. I've seen a lot of
Yes.
Patagonia, type of, of items. It's I guess not so surprising to hear you say that people are really aligning towards these brands because they have a certain quality
Mhm.
already in the market versus the no name stuff.
Right. Yeah. Like, especially at events, it's very interesting to see what people will physically gravitate towards. They're not going to want the off brand tumbler usually. They're going to go for the Yeti or something recognizable like a hydro flask, maybe. It's a really huge brand right now is Simple Modern. I actually have a Simple Modern tumbler right here with our brand laser engraved on it. So, laser engraving is a trend that we're seeing. We're paying a lot more attention to decoration methods. So like water-based screen printing instead of plastisol-based screen printing, which is like a plastic material that's horrible for the environment. We're now moving towards water-based screen printing, which is softer feeling, more like people just want to take it off of your table and they want to take it home. They want to wear it multiple times. So yeah, it's not just about the products. It's also how we're decorating them, how we're intentionally placing your logo on them too.
I'm definitely encouraged by the whole sustainability trend that you're seeing. That's music to my ears. But to counter that, are these more expensive to go sustainable? Is the cost higher to produce something in a more sustainable way or to use a more sustainable material?
That's a great question. The short answer is usually it is, but sometimes there's really cost efficient materials like bamboo if you wanted to go more cost efficient. There was an item that I wanted to talk about a little bit today that's more cost effective. It's a bento box that people can put their food in for lunch, and it kind of has like all the utensils included. And a lot of the elements of the bento box are bamboo.
Oh,
So, like the lid is bamboo, and it's kind of carved out for like a little section where your phone can stand up. So that would be like a more cost efficient one. It's, I don't know, around $10 a piece, depending on the quantity that you purchase. So while we are seeing a lot of those name brands like a Yeti or a Cotopaxi or Hydro Flask, something like that would cost more, you also have to think about the return on investment, right? Like we don't want to give things that people are just going to put in a drawer. So we're giving people things that they want to show off, not
Mm,
just things they're going to use once. So like that backpack, they're going to carry it around. That's free advertising for you. And it also helps that person feel like they're a part of your community. So while it might be a more costly item, really the return on investment is usually so much higher.
gotcha. I like
Mhm.
that. So let's get to the next question here, Kat. Why should swag matter to healthcare companies, or why is it really important to any company in general?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have a little bit of a background in the medical industry. I grew up, my dad was a doctor, so I saw him and I saw his business actually market themselves. And they actually started to use swag, which was pretty helpful. And it kind of was just like help their patients feel more like a community. So that's something that I feel like a lot of healthcare providers might be missing the mark on, is that they don't necessarily see their clients coming back to them as often. So giving them a tangible piece of swag, it doesn't have to be a Cotopaxi backpack. It can be something so simple, maybe just like a really nice tumbler. It helps them feel like, you know, you appreciate them. It helps them maybe foster a sense of like community and belonging. So these are all things that we search for just as human beings innately. So whenever we have like a physical representation of something, that can actually speak volumes. So I hope that answered your question, but basically swag should matter to everybody. It's just like not a negotiable part of your business model. Really, these things are ways to incentivize new conversations. They're ways to keep people engaged with your brand and your company. And even like in the healthcare industry, whenever you're offering referrals to people, it might just be a nice referral gift too.
Does swag has the use of swag changed in your mind, given that all of us are now a little bit more remote? Like, are people using
Absolutely.
swag internally a little differently?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's something that we saw a lot of once COVID hit. We kind of had to pivot a little bit as a company because we were working primarily with like large events. So we were just drop shipping large quantities of product to an event. But whenever the world went remote, everyone started to feel a little bit more disconnected from their company, just from people in general. So something that we saw that was pretty miraculous was our clients actually started just sending out swag to like their internal teams and saying like, hey, like we appreciate all the hard work you're putting in. This is a really difficult time in the world. So those things actually helped the companies, I think, engage with their employees in a way that they hadn't really thought of before.
And so did you see it used in as a welcome gift, or was it used
Mhm.
more just as appreciation? Was it a combination of both?
It's both. Yeah. We see welcome gifts, we see anniversary gifts. And then I think something that could be applicable in a healthcare setting is maybe like even giving a little bit of swag during the, you know, actual treatment journey of your clients. So maybe they've been with you for a year and you have that date marked down somewhere, and you can, once they come in for their next appointment after their year mark, say, hey, like, thank you for sticking with your program for a year. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate you. Here's just a token of our appreciation. So there's so many amazing ways that you can utilize it.
What are some do's and don'ts when it comes to swag? Is there anything, some tips and tricks you could recommend to our audience?
Absolutely. So do absolutely always use items that people will actually want to use. We don't want anything that, again, is going to end up in a drawer. We want something that people are going to want to show off, because, you know, I always speak to like, what is the difference between just a client and a fan? And the difference between a client and a fan is that the client will purchase those services from you, maybe, but a fan will paint their face for you and they will go out in public and proudly tote your brand. So always choose things people really want, and don't give your recipients something breakable. Like at an event, do not give away ceramic mugs at an event. That's something that has come up for us recently. it's just not the best item to give someone who might have traveled to the event. Don't give away things that are really bulky. We want something that will fit easily, especially for an event, like in their travel, in their carry-on. And also just make sure that you're intentional with your choices. Look at what the brand represents and make sure that it aligns with your mission too.
Now, I have to ask this because I've seen this trend over the last little bit. I mean, we've seen a lot of people give away socks, right? Socks seems to be the big thing these days as a giveaway. Is there any sort of newer item that you're seeing on the horizon that people are really gravitating towards? I noticed you mentioned the backpack a couple of times, but is there anything else that's, sort of that fits into that small portable category that seems to be popular?
Absolutely. Yeah. Socks are actually like our number one performer, not just for events, but also like kits in general, just like groupings of items. Socks are almost always in there. Tumblers, some sort of like stainless steel drinkware is always going to be something that's popular because people will frequently use it and reuse it. They can travel with it. And then there's just like popular categories in general, right? Like we're looking at apparel, we're looking at tech items, things like portable chargers, but not like little ones that are just going to die in a few months. We want a substantial, something that actually works well. So all that to say, there's definitely littler items that you can include that are popular, like, a sticker sheet instead of just one sticker.
Right.
There's so many items that I could probably name right now, but drinkware, clothing, tech items. And then of course we have things like notebooks as well that are really high use items, but we want to make sure again that we're giving them something of quality.
So let me ask you this question. Why would someone choose to work with a company like Printfection as opposed to just going online and choosing the random swag provider out there? Well, what makes you different?
Oh, that's a great question. So Printfection is a swag management platform. It's not just like go on the website and purchase 100 t-shirts and we send them to one location. We actually can source, print, fulfill, and ship globally for you. So we can, ship globally. We can actually kit items for you if you wanted to put together a collection of items to send to somebody. We can do gift messages. So we can get really personable with how these things are actually presented and unboxed. And you can also manage your inventory and you can view how those items were actually claimed via a link through Printfection, and see what the actual ROI is at whenever they claim something. So like, let's say you did some sort of mailing campaign to people that you were trying to get interested in your company. You can see who clicked the link, who actually claimed it, and if that converted into something like a meeting or maybe even a first client appointment. So we have like the whole world of swag on our platform. It's not just printing. It's so much more than that. It's also just planning and engagement, because that's what this is all about.
So it sounds like, I would use Printfection for a campaign, maybe where I'm running to say, you get this kit, which may include some socks, a t-shirt, a tumbler, if you book a demo with our salespeople, right? But instead of having 100 of these items sitting in my office and having to manually ship them myself, what I'm hearing is that I could use Printfection for this. I can just say, hey, I'm going to buy 100 of these things. You kit them for us. And then when someone clicks that link, you know where you're going to ship it. Is that?
Exactly. And you don't even have to touch the order. You don't have to ask for a size from somebody. It's all in your inventory at that point. So we are managing everything. All you have to do is send a link. Someone can click the link and then they can select their size. If there's a sized item, we'll ship it out. If anything were to happen in the process between it shipping and delivering to the recipient, Printfection can actually also manage that for you. So you don't even have to worry about it. You get a whole dedicated support team. You get a customer merchandise manager like myself, customer success to actually help you strategize with your swag. And on the opposite end of the orders, you also get a support specialist as well, like an operations support specialist. So we have a whole team. Our service is just above and beyond what you would get with a normal supplier.
Nice. Kat, where can people go to find out more information about Printfection?
Oh, sure. Please check out printfection.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. And that's Printfection, print Print, and infection, just like perfection, right?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, Kat, really appreciate all the information you shared with us today. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Hey, if you enjoyed this interview as much as I did, why not check out more great content on sway.health, where you'll find a lot more great information. I'm Colin Hung for Sway Health. We'll catch you on the next video.